Hey everybody, we're playing ranked with the OP division, or one of the OP divisions, against 8th Infantry. Okay, someone's... I don't know who it is. Hello, okay. Neither can I. If you want to be, can make it happen. For a prize. Okay. We're playing OP division. 8th Infantry means we have to go up against Jäger Aufklärer ourselves, which means I don't think we should go for Fox. At least not go for this area here right away. I do want to try to go for this though. Now that said, sure, I can look over the. Yeah, I need advice myself. You know, I don't know who that is, and I don't see ranks, so it's not that easy. I mean, easy is relative, right? It is pretty clear where one can push and where not, in my eyes. But it is, compared to the other maps, a relatively wide map, a lot of zones. So I can definitely see some confusion. And frankly, as you noticed, or as I said, I don't really know the times of where you are gonna meet other infantry squads, or other wheeled vehicles, or vehicles in general in the opener. And that is, excuse my voice, and that is, in my eyes, the most important stuff when it comes to map knowledge is where are you supposed to expect your opponent, meaning which places, which forests, which towns are essentially free, quote unquote. I'm not sure if I... It's good for sneaking. God, look at how stupid. I hate forward deployment. This was such... in my eyes, a huge mistake. Speaking of mistakes... Maybe I shouldn't push here? Oh well. We do want some Milan 2s. Oh! I genuinely... I used LOL twice, that's how you know I'm a boomer. I genuinely forgot I had them in the deck. I'm a professional, I swear. Let's place you in here. Give you some recon too. I hate these recon. Anyway. Yeah, I think what I will also do is get some Fallschirmjäger. I'll try to unload them in here. All these trucks. Go back. Go back. Need some anti-air. We actually don't need that much because 8th Infantry doesn't have the strongest planes. But it's still good to have it. Plus, you know, we don't want a single tow cobra to just destroy us. Let's help out with the level 1 here. Just also busted unit. Get some 1A5s. Let's see, well, the bow is just... maybe it starts fast at least. Let's see if we can unload you here and then shift back. You're expensive, you cost 50 points. Kinda stupid, honestly. Oh, and that's... honestly, I don't even need to do that, because I think the bug where if a helicopter is destroyed, the infantry inside still has full HP. I think that's still in the game. But things like that I just prefer to not abuse. I don't mind abusing some things if I think that they're here to stay even. Like in Wargun, there's some things that I abuse. But splitting, I don't. But stuff like that, which is clearly like game breaking, not intentional, I don't. But any at the end of the day, it's admittedly kind of arbitrary, right? I'm not trying to claim like a position of a more high ground or something like that. You might as well use these. Like, they cost us, these special forces cost the same price as Jäger. It's just, you know, if they had like, again, that's where training would just differentiate them so much more, other than, hey, they're essentially better, but you can also forward deploy them, right? And it's just besides the fact that they're maybe like a bit too cheap and whatnot, right? But even if they had, if forward deployment wasn't a thing, right? But, you know, I'm just partially preaching to the choir, so... Probably need some more infantry in mid, honestly. Let's get rid of one of you. And get... Where are my... There they are. Like, another thing. It is so difficult at first glance to realize which unit is what. Pioneers, these two, I can relatively quickly see because everything... The background is very red. But how am I supposed to, at first glance, differentiate these squads? I have to look at their names specifically. Right? Jäger, so for example, Fallschirmjäger would have a red background in Wargame. Milans would have a yellow background in Wargame, right? And these would, I mean, they're kind of like Jäger, right? But that would already like would be a much easier way to differentiate them. Actually, just so I have the answer once and for all, just start one left, one right, so I know which one is definitely faster. I feel like this one might be faster because you don't have to take a turn, but I don't know, man. I mean, I might just get wrecked, right? So, it might just put me into a false sense of security. In which case, like, well done. Again, I don't really know who he is, who they are. And this is what I meant, like in the yesterday's video. For you, for me, it's today. Look at how long this bow takes to lift up, right? There's no real advantage over trucks, honestly. Unless you're talking about like very big maps. Of course, this is just the opener. You know, if I start buying them from the spawn, that's a different story. We also have to... It's from a much bigger distance, and they already spawn in the air. But when it comes to forward deployment and in the opener, they're actually not that much faster. And helicopters in general are just... They all feel clunky. In general, a lot of units here feel clunky. The game doesn't really have the flow that Wargame has, in my eyes. So I can't really explain to you, like, what the flow actually is. Right, as in, like, why that is the case and all that. Even though I don't see any oh, what do we have here? Oh, Cobra. Well, in Wargame, I might unload here. In this game, not really. That's a lot of... let's just get one more, so we have that happening. Let's get some preemptive supply trucks. But why would I unload here? Look how little the rocket pods did to me. Ah, oh, goodness me. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm playing an OP deck, right? I'm not... Now I didn't pay attention. I guess I can see in the replay which one is actually faster. No, you here. Okay. Not much on the right. Let's, you know, they asked for cheese. Let's try to cheese. But it's also protect a bit against cheese. Okay. Looking good. I don't know why SV here just yet because it's fairly easy to just sneak something through. I mean, M35 destroyed with the Milan? I think so. Oh wow. That is 700 meters. You know, there are situations where I feel like 700 meters is very little, and in this case it felt like a lot. Like just from what it looked like range-wise. I felt like, oh, that's probably like 1 kilometer, but no, it's 700 meters. Probably like from the edge of the town, admittedly. Maybe from the center building? Hard to say. You didn't kill the Bradley. I don't think you did either. Where's the Bradley? Also give this guy some morphium. Maybe it retreated that way. Let's go back. This does have 50% ECM now. Originally it had 30, and then in the first patch note it said, oh, it got fixed to 50, but it still had 30. Okay. Scorpion. Yes, it's doing okay. Still 20% damage reduction. Roughly. Like for infantry in the open. Though it might... Okay, so here's the thing. Since there's not much happening, I might as well talk about it. Also, I'm floating... Wait, let's just get a leopard 2 at 3 CV here. Here's the thing with the HE. Look at this martyr, right? This HE1, it doesn't actually have 1 HE. It has 0.23, 24 or something like that HE. Which explains why, you know, it says 0.1 damage dealt. The thing is, every AP weapon, right, has 1 HE essentially as well. I believe the HE for a AP weapon is essentially the multiplier. You see the Milan, 19 AP but 1 HE. Where's the plane coming? Ah. Okay. So essentially, what I think is the case is the unit card will always show where is it? The value of which either weapon is greater, right? Because the RH202, you missed. The RH202. Those are essentially 2 weapons, one for AP, one for HE. That's how it always worked in Fusion games. For tank gun as well. You have one tank gun with 15 AP and one tank gun with 1.26 HE. Presumably the 15 AP gun also has 1 HE, because I think that's just a multiplier. If you look at war games, anti-ship missiles, for example, they all have an HE value as well. Oh, just destroyed a landed helicopter. Did you just melt the OH? Jesus. Anti-ship missiles also have a... Okay, you're just bugging out. An HE weapon. And... Sorry, an HE value. And the HE value is typically whatever their AP is divided by 20. So I'm pretty sure that most weapons have like some kind of... had that in a wargame as well. Essentially, what I'm saying is it works very similar to wargame. Now, to go back to what I was talking about, I believe that the unit card just defaults to whichever value is greater. Obviously 1.26 is greater than 1, which presumably is the HE value of the 15 AP kinetic gun. But in the case of the autocannon... Hold on. Also, I'm sorry. Hold on. In the case of the autocannon, 1... Oh my god. I just want to look at the Milan. 1... Oh my god! Fine, I'll buy a martyr. Also, I'm sorry that I'm talking about something completely different that isn't the game. I need some... Let's get some pioneers going. Leopards. Leopard. Oh, you're dead, huh? Now, the AP weapon has 2 AP and 1 HE, just like this is 19 AP and 1 HE. And the actual HE gun has 0.24, whatever it was. And I presume, probably easy to test, honestly, by just modding a weapons. That the unit card will just default to showing the stat that is higher. Obviously, if the accuracy, we can all assume, is the same on HE and AP guns, so that shouldn't differ, same with rate of fire, etc., and range. Which they share, but you would assume, and it would make sense, for them to share the exact same stats in that regard. So HE and AP is the only thing where they differ. Possibly suppression as well, actually. In Wargame, I think it was manually decided, which might also be the case here. Because if you remember the Kute, they used to display their CQC weapon instead of their normal weapon. So it might also just be a manual error that they are manually displaying the wrong weapon when it comes to that stat. Because the suppression for fist squads with their AP and their HE weapon was also very, very different. Where the AP suppression was very high, but the anti-infantry suppression was very low. Or vice versa. Honestly, I don't remember. And if nothing of this says anything to you, then you're probably not a wargame player. Okay, that was very beautiful. But your planes are dead. And I only lost... Oh no, I lost 2 leopards. No. Oh, the Milan killed... It did... Wait, was it the one on the left? Then maybe it did kill Bradley and I just missed it. Oh, maybe no, it was one. No, it was the one on the right because we definitely saw it kill a Bradley, and I guess it killed one right in the opener as well. M35 actually died to the Jägeraufklärer. Lots of OH58 scouts. Don't use... Okay, here's tip number 1. Don't use helicopters that much, especially against my deck. Now, you might expect me to open with like a lot of helicopters to land Fallschirmjäger, but honestly, I wouldn't. For one, I believe that's still the case. If they crash, they still have full HP, so killing them in the air with the infantry inside doesn't achieve anything. And then all my other helicopters are either a Regan helicopter or a helicopter with 80 gems, in which case you could just kill it with a Stinger squad or something else. It's not very impactful. It could like completely ruin your opener, unless you have like literally no AA with it. So there's no reason to really start with OH58. Also, why is my encoding overloaded? What's wrong, OBS? No reason to start with those units. Just a lot of investment for very, very little thing. Like, if you play against US decks or basically any pack deck that have access to a lot of a variety of a lot of helicopters, I could see why, but I would probably still go against it because you saw how little that helicopter did to my trucks, to basic trucks. It didn't stop them at all. It did 1 damage. In Wargame, if I sorry if the whole but in Wargame, if that gets old, but you know, this is supposed to be a pseudo Wargame successor, and they did specifically say, oh, they're trying to do Wargame with Steel Division improvements. And you know, none of the Steel Division games had helicopters, so it's our only really comparison. So, in Wargame, those squads would have been absolutely dead. And Wargame or not, you probably should expect them to be dead. They're in an 5 HP, no armor transport. And that Toe Cobra did nothing. Literally nothing. Oh, okay, virtually nothing. It did like 1 damage. Like, I'm not saying helicopters should be as OP and broken as they are in Wargame, of course. Okay, so first of all, left side, and Bradleys are good. Nothing wrong with Bradleys. I wouldn't, honestly, I mean, I can't really say anything against that. I guess it works. Maybe not so far in because you're not gonna spot much. Put it closer at the edge like this. Although, frankly, the thing might straight up be lying here. But yeah, not so far the edge, not so far in the edge. I guess it can work. Although you have to watch out that if someone starts with an infantry squad like Jägeraufklärer and drops them here, might just kill you Bradley. I prefer to put infantry in here. Bradley, I've also done, but against Mida, you should probably expect Milan 2s, in which case Bradley isn't really a good choice, I think. Because it's just way too easy to kill them with Milans. But I commend you to really use a lot of Bradleys. Though not in this area. In this area, you will just get deleted by like Leopard 1 spam, honestly. And I guess in general in this matchup, they might not be too great. I think on this side, they'd probably do a lot better. Maybe here, this position probably also works well, but here, this one, I don't know. This one I get. I don't know why this one was being bought. You can definitely put a Jägeraufklärer squad here. Contest this forest. Don't be satisfied with taking this. Go for this area here. Here, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, I missed which one started where. Still don't know which one is faster. This is what I'm talking about. This thing is already aiming, right? It's about to use its rocket spot. Granted, it only has 14, but like still, all right. This is what I'm talking about. These Fudge-Maker, they're in an unarmored truck. A truck. It's a normal civilian vehicle essentially, right? This isn't a Fuchs. This isn't a BTR. This isn't a Martyr. That's a truck. Look what this Cobra does. Oh, you got stunned. You got stunned, and the way stun works, you just keep driving this. It literally does nothing to the truck to be stunned. I think it's being slowed down a bit by it, and it got forced to stop. But it essentially doesn't really affect it since it doesn't really fight, right? It doesn't have any weapons. That's what those rocket pods did. It is just again. Yes, they're only like. Oh, and the other ones, the remaining ones did nothing. Wow. Again, sure they're only 14, but I think the individual rockets tend to be a lot more, or are supposed to be more impactful than in Wargame. They also feel like a relatively low rate of fire. Helicopters are whack. A lot of the units are just really weird. Autocannons are weird. Rocket bots are weird. SAMs are weird sometimes because they don't guide beyond their max range. Way too defensive here. Way too defensive. As soon as you saw I'm not pushing for here, move all this shit over here. Load them back into the transports. I think you're moving them manually. It's way too slow. It's way too slow. Here, same thing. Go for this. This is free for you. This is essentially free. Of course, now not necessarily because you're late. Now I could have stuff in there already, but it's essentially free. And I would never ever give up this town. This is so crucial. You don't really need it for anything, but you don't want your opponent to have it, and that's why you need it, right? Because if I have it, I have a very easy way to get a foothold in here and counter cap. And that is honestly, these are the most important things I think that you need to know about map knowledge. Know the key positions, know what you get for free. Essentially, you obviously, this obviously you get for free, for example. And when I say for free, I mean if you take into account, let's say, similar or the same speed, I'm not talking about how would I put this, right? You have a Jägeraufklärer squad here and one here, forward deployment as far as you go, right? Free in that case means, well, you arrive here earlier than I do, hypothetically speaking. In this case, that is essentially free, right? If you're talking about like a mag rifles in an M113 versus a forward deployed helicopter infantry, obviously then this isn't really free for you anymore because you're not going to be able to contest because you're way too slow. So, right, when I say free, I mean assuming same speed of unit and both either forward or not forward deployed. Say the same distance. Like for example, you can contest more or less this, right? But this never give up. This is sort of free, just like this is essentially free for me. Obviously, the closer you get to the middle of the map or where you would meet, it's what is free or not is a lot less clear. Let's put it that way. And frankly, I don't know all the positions myself. I only guesstimate them. But don't let me have this. Don't let your opponent have this. Make sure you have control this. Try to control roughly this part here. At the very least this. It's good to have something in here, but you may not have the points for that. A Recon here, infantry squad is very good because unlike a Bradley, right, you don't pay for the torpedoes and autocannons, in which case you'd really want to use them, and you're much stealthier. Yeah. And then it was like, no offense, it was a boring game, but I think you were already like very much how do I put this, demoralized, right? If you already like, if you go into the game with the headspace, oh, this map is so difficult, oh, what am I gonna do? And that's not like, no offense, right? I it happened to me as well. Then it's obviously you're gonna have a much harder time to begin with. And just say that in Wargame we had like cliffs here at the edge. That did look weird, but I feel like this looks even weirder, where it just immediately cuts off. Anyway, I think was there anything else I wanted to check in the replay? The Bradley did move back here. Okay, I don't think there was anything else. This one just, I don't know what you were doing, cons. Also, in my eyes, CV is being bought too early. I mean, you did move the stuff here at the end, and you did push my Fallschirmjäger out. But then when I get here, it's gonna be really difficult to get back into here. I cut you off here, I cut you off there, and through the forest just takes so much time. And just say how stupid it is that I have like 0.5 seconds aim time, I have 1 second aim time. So if they get too close, my Gabba is just gonna wreck these, especially because I can't even one-shot my Gabba. And the burst damage on like these guns is crazy. They're actually amazing fire support against infantry. Shilka as well. Anyway, hope you still enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something. Both when it comes to map and gameplay, etc. But also like when it comes to like the unit cards and the HE values and stuff that I mentioned. Maybe you find it interesting. Anyway, I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.